Let me salute my dearest boss, Professor Naana Jane.
Are you learning from
and use
the old man?
And use President Mohammed's words, a boss in whom I'm well pleased. She has electrified not only the NDC but the country. She has held us spellbound. She has captured our imagination. Her delivery was absolutely a delight to observe. She has really charmed our country. Only last night, I honored an invitation from the Netherlands ambassador to their National Week celebrations. The Roads and Highways Minister represented the government and proposed a toast on behalf of the president. I lost count the number of attendees at that diplomatic reception last night who walked up to me and said that, look, we were still not decided, we were on the fence, we were contemplating, but after listening to your boss, Professor Naana Jane, a night prior, we are so convinced that that is the direction for our country. She inspired us, she motivated us, and you guys have our votes because of that presentation. So there are many, many testimonies across the length and breadth of our country following that masterful, that erudite, that eloquent, logical, and absolutely inspiring address by Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. The address was full of wisdom, humility, an appreciation of where the country is, a clear vision about the future that this country deserves. And she was brutally frank about the sordid nature of our country now. She didn't pull punches. She didn't mince words. She was not, if you like, hazy about the current national decay that we are confronted with as a nation. And in my mind, I do not recall any time in our history that a running mate's address, perhaps since the running mate address of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama at the National Theatre, as a much younger political activist, this will go down as the most well-received and well-delivered address. Many of our daughters, many of this nation's women and young girls will look back at this week historically and be very, very proud of what has happened and the hope that Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyeman represents for all females across the length and breadth of this country. And considering the fact that our women, females in our country, constitute a majority, 52%, according to the last population and housing census, we cannot downplay the significance of this moment and how women have finally received what they deserve. And I must celebrate His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Now everybody, locally and internationally, is commending incoming President Mahama for having that knack. There's so many people who were jostling for running mate position, but to settle on Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. And at the time, many people did not understand him and did not really know what he had seen in the good old professor. Now, everybody is celebrating incoming President Mahama for that vision, for that judgment, for the selection of Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. And I think that as we celebrate the professor, we must equally celebrate President Mahama. Because if President Mahama had not, way before many people are now coming to realize how an asset, how germane Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyeman is to the ticket, her gravitas, and her accomplishments. If President Mahama had not seen it and had not given her the opportunity, we would not be discussing this. Now, if you come to the speech itself, I remain profoundly impacted by how the professor set the tone. She says, and I quote, "I see your choice as an affirmation of your belief in the capabilities of the Ghanaian woman. I will repay your abiding confidence with loyalty, understanding, and a devotion to duty. My output going forward, by the grace of God, will continue to demonstrate what the world knows already, that women are also capable of high achievements. That we do so with that reservoir of strength, determination, and mental acuity that only those who are noble and far-sighted can comprehend and contend with." Very profound statements. And so it is not surprising, Doc, that after her sterling performance as Minister of Education, she has been sought after all over the world. Because she is so self-effacing and quietly efficient, just believes in getting the job done, and is not one to be beating her chest, and if you like, arrogantly praising herself. Many people have not paid attention to how internationally sought after Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyeman is. Indeed, after her tenure as Minister of Education, when the Federation of African Women Educationalists, headquartered in Kenya, when they were looking for an African board chair and president of that reputable institution, they found no other worthy person than Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. And she served at FAWE from 2017 to 2023, indeed, only last year. During her tenure, she transformed that organization, and she led that organization to win the coveted Al Sumait Prize in Education. Remarkable. In Zimbabwe, when the people of Zimbabwe were looking for a chancellor of the African Women's University, headquartered in Harare, they found no other worthy person than Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. Indeed, the Zimbabweans are pleading with her that even though she has tendered her resignation, she should wait and preside over her last congregation in August this year. So she is still the chancellor of the African Women's University in Zimbabwe. So, in addition to all of this, what she did for UNESCO, serving on the UNESCO Global Board, You cannot downplay the accomplishments of these high-flying educationists. But perhaps what should even excite us the more is how she situates this epoch-making era in history. She says, "Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before I go on to other matters, please let me state my understanding of where we are as a country and the implications of what lays ahead, as clearly as I can manage it. The selection ahead of us is not about making history, although that is important. It is not about returning a former president back to power or about producing the first woman vice president. Historical and exciting though they are, it is not only about bringing the National Democratic Congress to power, although that is indispensable in our current circumstances. It is about winning the elections for a purpose that goes beyond those enumerated above. The purpose is the opportunity to hold our country together again, to heal Ghana. It is about the chance to pull Ghana from the precipice of destruction, of normalizing corruption, of incomprehensible greed. From deep despair, the election ahead is about hard work and abiding sacrifice. It is to embrace everyone in building a Ghana that functions again. It is to work towards a Ghana where citizens have confidence and hope and are determined to regain their independence of thought and agenda. We must work towards a Ghana that at the very least can feed itself, where the law truly works, where there is shared prosperity, where democracy has not become a fluke, where people are not abused, and where the basic necessities of life are not denied the majority or eventually anyone. It is a chance to work hard towards a country where citizens do not feel disrespected, are not intimidated, ignored because of the way they vote or the language they speak. The victory we seek as a party is to invite everyone to the honors task of rebuilding a broken Ghana, of restoring hope in a manner that the NDC is capable of doing by their history and achievements." Unquote. Profound statement. I mean, this is where this country should go. This is what Ghana deserves. And you see, Doc,
please be wrapping up for me.
If you look at the many amazing things that Prof said, one of the major highlights for me, because of the work I do in oversight, is this statement. "John and I have agreed that whoever has participated in the plunder of the state must be held accountable. This is not a threat, it is a promise. Premise on the wishes of our citizens across the various political and social divides and hinge on the principle of accountability." Look, I am so excited about this, like many Ghanaians are. And I'm not surprised that it's been in the trends for days since she spoke. This particular pledge, the agreement that she has.
Can you read that again?
"John and I have agreed that whoever has participated in the plunder of the state must be held accountable. This is not a threat, it is a promise. Premise on the wishes of our citizens across the various political and social divides and hinge on the principle of accountability." Oh, God bless Professor Naana Jane. God bless John Dramani Mahama.
Okay.
Look, Doc, the plundering going on, the naked thievery. You remember the Cocoa Board audit? 87,
which one?
87%, the latest Cocoa Board audit, the Auditor General's report, audit report on Cocoa Board. 87% of all contracts there, single source. And the Auditor General is saying that when they compared the 87% of single source contracts with the 13% that were competitive. It was three times the value. Meaning that if we got 100 kilometers of roads, we could have got 300 kilometers. And those who came to the party, to Bamba, cronies of this government, including the vice president's brother, 87%. No value for money. Naked procurement breaches, an abuse of the single source procurement method. I can't wait for this promise to be fulfilled. National Cathedral, $58.1 million. And I like how she her literary prowess are just amazing. She says anytime she sees that image, who will believe that that is a place for God all-knowing? $58.1 million. And all those who destroyed those edifices that were there at that location, Malian ambassadors' residence, judges' bungalows, the Judicial Training Institute, Scholarship Secretariat, Comsys IT firm, Waterstone Realty Apartment Complex, Shraj bungalows, Passport Office. People think they won't answer for this? Oh, I can't wait.
Right.
I can't wait for that coming. I can't wait. Bunkra, what we were discussing earlier. I mean, the impunity. People think this country belongs to them. That there will be no judgment day. There will be no day of reckoning. Oh, I just can't wait. That is my favorite paragraph. And it gives me hope that, look, all the work we are doing, the sleepless nights, risking our lives, intercepting documents. I am so excited that Professor Naana says our work will not be in vain. Look, she's motivated me to do more. And next week I'm going to unravel more documents.